Hi everyone, and welcome back to my junk journal. Finally, I'm getting a junk journal page done. I'm going to be starting, I'll move my hot cup of tea. And I'm starting in this journal that Michaela, one of my viewers, made for me. I was going to save it for the questions, the answers to happiness that Marianne, A Pocket Full of Vintage, had done, but I still think there's plenty of room in here to do both. I always like to start a new journal every year. I guess it's just like a fresh start. So before I begin on my first page, I just want to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to title this journal. And this title, I don't think anything is ever a mistake. I believe that you hear things and see things and things happen for a reason. Case in point, I'm not sure if any of you watched my last junk journal video, which was December 1st, and it was that one I was making, Creative Healing, the little journal to take with you to the doctors or whenever you're not feeling well and all of that. Well, Jenny Belly left a comment for me on that page. And the sentence she had said was, and I'm just going to read it here, "This is what I believe in my heart journaling is all about." And she went on to talk. And I thought when I first read it that she said, "This is what I believe heart journaling is all about." And I'm like, oh, I love that. So this year, instead of calling it my junk journal, it'll still be my junk journal, but I'm going to call it my heart journal, like art journal. I just thought that was so cool. So before I begin my first page, I am going to quickly just title this page. I don't want to mess this up too much. It is so pretty the way that she did it. So I just need an H and an E. So I found these Making Memories Be Inspired sticker shimmer alphas. So I think what I'm going to do is start with the art, the word art, and I do not want to ruin that beautiful hot air balloon, nor any of the beautiful work that Michaela did on this page. So I hope you all had a wonderful New Year and Christmas and holiday or whatever you did. Mine was just all over the place. I had some health issues, and then my husband's mom, she's 97, bless her soul. She's in the hospital right now, but she was very, very sick. She's been in there for almost 2 weeks now, and she is getting better, which is absolutely amazing. I'm wondering if I'm going to have to move this over. Maybe I'll see where the H goes. But she had some kind of infection, kind of like pneumonia, and then it went to her blood, and the poor thing, oh my God, she was sick. She was just so sick. And you know, when someone's that old, or no matter how old you are, you never want to see people suffering, you know? Like, you just don't. So I was up at the hospital, and that's the one time in my life I was so thankful to be a doula, because she was so afraid, and I felt like I was able to calm her down. Like, she just kept looking at me. She wasn't able to talk very much. She was just that sick and it just felt so nice to be able to help her, you know? So many people are always there for me. So it was I want to put a bracket, you see where it says art? I wanted to put the other like heart. I'm going to move these over and I will be right back. There, so I got them moved over so you can see the word heart, the play on art, which I just thought was so cool. And then what I did is, originally when I first placed them down, I didn't push it really hard. And then once I get them placed where I wanted them to be, I used my glue gun to adhere them down. So for the word journal, I use the Tim Holtz, you know that little pad with all the mini words on it? I think that's what it's called. But I did this a little bit earlier. I used my glossy accents, and I just put a little bit of glossy accents, I don't know if you can tell, on the word journal. I just placed it on this little tile. And so I'm just going to take that off and trim off if there's any glossy. Oh, there aren't any. And then I'm going to glue this down with, there, can you see it? There you go. I'm going to glue it down with just a little bit of glue just under the word art. So it says Heart Journal. And the reason I put glossy accents on it because this book's going to be handled a lot and I wanted that to be protected. So in the inside cover of my journal, Michaela put a little pocket here and a little really pretty little envelope. So I'm going to write on here, I started in my journal on January 10th, 2013. And then I'll put I completed this journal, and then when I complete it, I will write the date I completed it on. There, so stick that in the front pocket. So I cannot begin to tell you guys how totally excited and happy I am to be doing this art journaling again. I don't know what was wrong with me, but my mojo was gone. I don't know. I started a new medication for that face pain and it affects your brain, and I thought maybe that's what it was. I was starting to feel a little depressed because I miss talking to you, even though you're not really here, but you kind of are. In my heart, you're here. So it's just so wonderful. Yesterday I was watching two of my grandsons and they said, Nana, we want to paint. So they saved all of their Christmas cards, and then my oldest grandson saved all of his birthday cards. And he'd seen me making journals and stuff with, you know, recycled cards. And so they got the paint out, and I'm telling you, we were slinging paint. Our hands were covered. It was so wonderful that it sort of triggered something in me to get back at it again. Actually, Turner was making, he calls it a feelings book, which is actually a journal. And although he's only 6, and as usual, I'm going to work while I talk, he writes in a journal, which is so amazing. Like, if he's got a problem and he'll say, his mom and dad will say, well, what's troubling you? He goes, I'll put it in my feelings book. And he writes well enough that they understand completely what's bothering him. I think that's amazing, incredible. So he made a new feelings book for him to write in. So I thought that was kind of cool. So anyway, I'm going to start off this page. I'm using mostly distress inks and some masks for this page. And every year, I always start the year off by choosing a word for that year. Last year, my word was impeccable. And the year before, the word was lovely. And when I had chosen lovely, I meant, not that I think I'm lovely, but I was trying to be, you know when you meet people and they're just so lovely. That's the only word I can use to describe it. They're just lovely people. I wanted to try to become more lovely in the things that I do. And it's amazing when you pick a word, it's quite surprising how much you actually focus on it. So last year my word was impeccable, and I took that from the 4 agreements, where I wanted to be more impeccable. Oops, I got the wrong sponge here. I'll use this one. More impeccable in my word and what I say and what I do. Don't say things I don't mean, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not kidding you. I can't believe how many times I was brought back to, okay, are you being impeccable? Is that impeccable? Is that an impeccable way to be? So this year, took me a while to choose my word. The first word I was going to choose was fierce, being fierce and, you know, but no, it didn't really sit that well with me. This has a little pocket here, you see, for your journaling on the back. There's 2 little cards, so I'm going to use those. I think I'll take them out just for right now. There. And so anyway, fierce, although it's a very awesome, cool word, it just didn't sit well with me. So my word for this year is answer. And I mean answer in an action word, like answering the call, answering the need, listening and answering. That's what I mean by answer. I want it to be of more of service to other people in doing, helping and doing more and trying to be there for people more. So many people are always there for me and trying to return that favor, always to the best of your ability, because sometimes no matter how much you want to do things, you can't. What I'm doing here, as you saw, was using Distress ink. I used Squeezed Lemonade. This was a summer limited edition one, and Picked Raspberry, and I'm also going to use Salty Ocean. I actually think these three came together, if I'm not mistaken, in a limited edition. Now, if you haven't used these masks, this is what they look like. You can hardly see them. You peel, that's why I've always kept them in the container, because sometimes they fall on the inside of the package and you don't see. Like my letter A. It's in here somewhere. But anyway, we've learned how to listen to our inner voice, but I think sometimes we get a little timid about paying attention to what it's saying or acting on it. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. It's really important as human beings that we answer that call to serve other people. I think, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older that I start to realize your life sort of seems a little bit empty if you don't give of yourself back. And again, I'm always saying, and I've said this a million times, to the best of your ability. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you genuinely are really busy. It's not about putting too much on your plate. It's about just doing the absolute best that you can. Like, I think all things are possible. All things are possible if you only believe in yourself. And just ask anybody who volunteers or gives of themselves or does for others, or, helps the elderly, helps a mom with little children, looks after their grandchildren. Ask those people how much rewards they get from that. And for all of you moms who are busy and overworked and working full-time, wouldn't it be so nice if just somebody just answered that call of, oh, I see her, she's so busy. Wish I could just maybe take her kids to the movie or take her to the movie. So my word for this year, and this is just for me, is answer. I'm going to try to focus more on being more of service to people, like giving of myself as best as I can. That's my word. Answer. Just believe in yourself, believe you can do it. Don't bite off more than you can chew. But honestly, I think when you give of yourself, you get more out of it than you give. I really do. I'm using this really, so can you see the word answer just faintly there? A-N-S-W-E-R. The A and the N and the R are more vibrant because the E, yeah, the E is pretty good. But it is on the page nonetheless. So I got this beautiful stamp from Christina Betts. And look at this. It's just a whole bunch of, it's the alphabet. Isn't that neat? Just the alphabet. So I'm just going to stamp it on here kind of willy-nilly. I don't want to make this page too dark. So, okay, I'm going to use Stampin' Up! Craft black ink. And the lid just flew off, so I'll fix it later. because although I don't want this to be very dark, I do want a little bit of grounding on this page. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So I may be stamping over the answer that I put at the bottom, but in my head I have this idea, so I hope it turns out. I'm using my good old brayer. This thing is so old, but it does the job. I suppose I could have taken the plastic backing off of the stamp. This is the first time I've used this. So let's see what I did. Ooh, it's really stuck. Oh, it's nice. It's just like, see, just a pale. That's what I wanted. I just wanted a whole bunch of letters on the page. So basically, what is your word, bird, for the year? Love this. It worked out better than I wanted it to because I didn't want it to be really dark and I was a little worried about that. I'm also going to spritz on my page a little bit of water. So I'm just going to take this vanilla cream color, and this stencil. This is actually, this was some letters were in this, and I popped it out, but I kept the circles because I like to use this sometimes. The first thing I'm going to do is take my paintbrush, and I'm just going to kind of make a little bit of a text spot here. The reason I'm doing this right now, I want it to dry before I go on to the next step. Then I'm going to paint these little white circles, probably this one here, this third one. They don't need to be too big. So I am just going to, this is out of sheer laziness that I do not want to lift up my tripod again and get out my distress ink, although it would be way better, but this should work. This is Creamy Caramel from Stampin' Up. So I just want to distress a couple of these. This ticket says live, and meaning that, you know, we want to live to our fullest potential and be the best we can be. You know how you watch these different shows and you hear all these people and they just seem to do these absolutely remarkable things, and you think, why didn't I do that? Or I could have done that. And you always see them on shows like Oprah. Oh, speaking of Oprah, guess who's going to see Oprah? She's coming to Edmonton on the 21st of January. And so I'm going to see her with my sister and my daughter. So that's going to be pretty exciting. The topic of her show is an evening with Oprah. So I'm really looking forward to that. I've seen Oprah before. I went to Seattle to her Live Your Best Life workshop, and it was totally different. You actually spent the entire day with Oprah. Not that you went up to her and talked to her, but she did a workshop, and then there was this magnificent lunch, and you got a goodie bag just like you see on TV, and they even fit everybody for new bras, which was kind of cool. Now I'm putting this clock here, and it has the word create on it. You can see that. And I'm putting a clock because it's the new year. So just kind of like the start of the new year in my word. And then I'm putting the word spirit, this chipboard spirit word, because I want you to listen to your inner voice and your inner spirit and pay attention to what it's trying to say to you or to guide you. It's a guide. We all have a guide and a spirit inside of us that is always, always guiding us and telling us what to do. So I'm going to put that there. Then I am going to just take some text here. I want to place that kind of behind this envelope too. There, that'll be perfecto. So I'm going to sponge that with a little bit of this ink. Then I'm going to just going to make a little collage right here with the clock, the spirit, and so I think I'll put beard down first because it's the thickest. It's funny how rusty you get when you haven't been really creating, but at the same time you can just feel your creative juices just flow, and it's just wonderful. You have to remember to put back those little journaling cards in here. I'm going to actually journal on them right now because otherwise I will forget to. Stick the ticket in the back. Word answer is going to go in there. And I found this in the front of this cookbook. It's Mrs. Allen on cooking menu service. So all the words to answer in there except for the W, but I'm going to turn the M upside down for that. And I don't think it'll matter. And then I'm using this teeny tiny flower punch. So I'll just try it on the C and see, because I don't need the C. And just see if that will look alright. Yeah. So I'll get these cut out and I will be right back. So I've just about got everything down on the page that I want here. I took those little Tim Holtz words. Oh, here they are. They are called Chit Chat Verbage, these ones. And that's what I put on the cover for journal. And I put, what is your word, in that little journal thing I painted on there. I just want to give this page a little bit more brightness. And then I took Broken China, which is the closest distress pen that I could find to Salty Ocean. They're pretty close in color, as you can see. And then I just did some little dots around it, and then I outlined the words there, and I also circled the word answer under there. So you can't see it, but if you were here, you could see it clearly. So come on over anytime. And then I felt that my page still needed just a little bit more pop of color. So I found, while I was waiting for all this to dry, it's funny what you find on your desk when you're cleaning up, you know. So I found this purple button, and I found this orange flower, and oh, I also found this little tiny red heart button and a little piece of twine. So I added it right beside the word journal. Heart journal. Isn't that cute? And it doesn't take away from any of the art that Michaela did, which is what I was really trying not to do. I didn't want to interfere with all the beautiful stuff that she had done on this cover. Like, look at these little turquoise half-back pearls, and they match those so well, and those little flowers and the stick pen. So I just was trying to keep the integrity of the way she had it, but just by adding a title. So back to my page and my flower. So what I'm going to do is just pop this little orange flower in here. I distressed it a little bit with that same ink. I'm going to cut the shank off the back of the button. These are easy to do. Make sure you've got something on your eyes. I've got my glasses on, so I'm good. And I'm just going to, I took the shank off. I'm just going to glue this in the center of our flower. Tuck that under there like so, and under there. And I've already done my journaling. There it is inside there, both cards. I filled it up. So that's great. So here is my page. Distressed and crinkly. Some of that was already, the pages were crinkled. See that? Which is great. And it's the challenge is working when there's already something existing on the page. But I kind of made a little tableau, as you can see, all right here. And then just did my background with all the letters. And see, A, N, S, E, R is under there somewhere, and there's A there. And what is your word? So you can see that closely. What is your word? Answer. So listen to your inner voice. I think if we all recognize that giving of yourself always feels better. It just does. And you can do that just by talking to somebody. You can visit somebody, go for a walk. And the most important person that you should be giving more to is answering yourself, answering what you need. And then when you do that and when you answer your needs, then you're able to answer other people's needs. So it's like on the airplane when they say the oxygen masks are above and put the mask on yourself first, then assist everybody else. So it's the same thing. Answer your needs first, and then you're able to answer others. And then in doing so, you realize all the possibilities that you have. So thanks so much for joining me back again in my heart journal. Love it, love it. So excited. So excited. It's just, I feel like I've been away and it's just so good to be back. So thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time. And don't forget to put your word in the down bar below. Bye for now.